Так вылечено от наркомании.
In my opinion, and it's crazy to say this because of how popular he is around the world now, but he's one of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. Everybody thinks because he speaks so well and gets so crazy and everything, it makes him sort of less of a fighter. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. When you talk about pound for pound best in the world, this is a guy who's actually living proof of pound for pound. He jumps from weight class to weight class and fights people in different weight classes. He went out and boxed Floyd Mayweather, and he is literally willing to fight anybody in the world who thinks they're better than him. You know, it's what makes him so popular. This isn't a crossroads fight. This is another fight to cement his legacy as one of the best to ever do it.
Obviously, grappling is a big part of this fight, right?
Yeah.
How do you rate Khabib Nurmagomedov on the ground?
On the ground, he's all right. You know, he's not really a passer. You don't really see him passing the guard too much. His wrestling is really good. But, you know, in my opinion, I think if you put Conor and Khabib in a grappling match, I think a lot of people would be surprised. I think Conor could beat him in a grappling match. You know, I'm talking about like an ADCC match or IBJF. Conor pulls guard. You know, Khabib's not going to do anything to him. So I think a lot of people are going to be surprised, you know. Conor's a very good grappler. He has an amazing coach, John Kavanaugh, since he started. So I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. Conor's no slouch on the ground and no slouch in wrestling. I roll with a lot of people in my life, like probably anybody you can think of. And Conor's a special athlete. You know, the way he moves his body and stuff like that. He has some kind of ability to just move in certain ways and the way he passes and stuff. So I think people are going to be surprised.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a really good athlete, like the way he is.
So people always talk about that his weakness is his wrestling, and
because how good Chad Mendes is a better wrestler than Khabib.
Yeah.
What credentials does Khabib have in wrestling? Maybe in sambo.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Chad Mendes was a second in NCAA's.
But he doesn't come from that world, so it doesn't.
But I mean, there's still titles that you can have over there. He doesn't have any titles.
He's so good. You don't think like, well, you see what he did to Edson Barbosa?
Yeah, but. Edson Barbosa. Who is Edson Barbosa? Kevin Lee just did the same thing to him.
Fair.
You know what I mean? So the thing is like there's different levels. I think that all these guys are kind of down here and like Conor's at the top. You know.
Sure.
So, I mean, Michael Johnson caught Khabib.
Yeah.
By
the way, it's Khabib.
Khabib, I don't know how to say his name, but like Michael Johnson's not the level of Conor. So,
right.
And I don't need to say that. I think everybody just kind of knows that. You know what I mean?
Is there any part of you that think this fight doesn't ever get to the ground?
It's possible. Same thing with Eddie. Everybody was like, oh my God, Eddie's going to take him down. Eddie's going to do this. And then all of a sudden, Eddie was up against the fence. He could barely even come close to even putting him down. You know what I mean? So everybody kind of has a game plan until it happens. And then until you're in there with him, you know? So we'll see. I think that he's going to be very surprised once he feels him and then sees the power and everything. So it's going to be fun.
Despite freaking Khabib being a nightmare stylistic for Conor, I have Conor winning this fight. Oh, you're Conor Dick Rider. Yeah, shut up. I think with his movement, his movement, his striking. When I look at the way these two athletes are, and I look at the movement of Conor, his angles, the quickness of his hands, the dynamics that he has on his feet, and I look at the ways he can win compared to the ways Khabib can win. I think Khabib will get him down. I think Conor will get back up. I think it's a matter of time before Khabib starts to get tired from the takedowns and Conor starts to let those hands loose. Because I don't think Khabib can finish Conor. He can't knock him out. He's really not a submission artist. And I think that only plays into Conor's hands. But we'll see as the fight gets closer.
What's the official prediction for this Conor McGregor versus Khabib fight?
If I have to bet, if I have to bet,
have to put the house on it.
if I have to put my house on it,
One of them.
the biggest one. if I have to put my house on it, I would have to choose Khabib over Conor. Khabib never lost. He never lost. And Conor have lost before. He have lost on the ground. He have a few losses, and he lost on the ground, where Khabib is good. That's where Khabib is the most competent as. However, Khabib sometimes is a slow starter, and he get punched a lot.
Michael Johnson.
Yes, he didn't look good in the beginning of the fight, and he's hard sometimes to close distance. You have a problem to close the distance, but once he got you in the clinch, he's very good. So I believe the chance, the odds goes on Khabib's favor, like maybe 60-40. I believe. And to tell you the truth, I believe Khabib has more chance to win that fight than Conor. Conor has one way to win the fight. It will be if you catch him on the way in, standing up. Khabib, I think, has more chance to win. He can win by submission on the ground. He can win by ground and pound. If he goes to decision, the chances are very likely that is Khabib that's gonna win. I see more ways to win from Khabib than I see from Conor.
Maybe you should pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger. Ain't nobody gonna do for